Welcome to the Deep Dive. Have you ever wondered how someone's wealth grows by like $818 million a day? Mm-hmm. Because today, our mission is to figure out the exact engine propelling Elon Musk's net worth past $844 billion here in early 2026.
Yeah, he is right on track to be the first trillionaire, which is just, wild.
It really is. And we're pulling from raw financial data, recent government filings, and John McNeil's new 2026 book, The Algorithm, to see how this compounding wealth actually works. So, okay, let's unpack this.
Right. So to wrap your head around that crazy daily number, you have to look at the process. McNeil calls it, the algorithm. It's this strict 5-step rule applied to every single Musk company. Question, delete, simplify, accelerate, and automate.
And that delete phase is basically extreme decluttering, right? Like the philosophy is that if you don't eventually have to buy back or restore maybe 10% of what you threw away, you just didn't purge enough. You're leaving inefficiencies on the table.
Exactly. That ruthless stripping down is how SpaceX dropped Starship launch cost to just $100 to $200 a kilogram.
Wow, that is a massive drop.
Yeah, they didn't just negotiate better prices. They brought 80% of manufacturing in-house and just deleted layers of subcontractors. And that massive enterprise value boost directly fuels his 2025 Mars shot Tesla pay package.
Oh, right. The one that ties his stock to hitting an 8.5 trillion market cap and those huge robotics milestones.
Exactly.
But I'm stuck on a really practical point here. If all his wealth is locked up in these milestone stock packages, and he famously doesn't take a cash salary, how does he actually buy groceries or, a whole social network?
Well, he relies on the buy, borrow, die strategy. Basically, he takes out massive loans using his stock as collateral.
Oh, because borrowed money isn't taxed as income.
Exactly. So he gets billions in tax-free cash. And what's fascinating here is how he uses that leverage to build a totally self-sustaining ecosystem. He recently engineered this $1.25 trillion mega merger combining SpaceX, X, and his AI company, XAI.
Which makes total sense.
Yeah.
Holding paper wealth is completely useless if you can't tap into it or defend it, right? By merging them, he solves a massive cash flow problem.
Yeah, because training AI requires supercomputers that burn like $1 billion a month.
Right, but now Starlink's $14 billion in steady internet profits can quietly cover that AI cash burn. It completely paves the way for a $2 trillion IPO of this new super conglomerate.
And to justify a $2 trillion price tag, you have to look beyond Earth. Literally. I mean, AI needs an immense amount of electricity, and Earth's power grids are totally maxed out.
So he just bypasses the grid entirely.
Yeah. His Orbital AI thesis is to put 1 million servers into space. They use constant, uninterrupted solar energy up there to power his custom D3 processing chips. Those are rolling out of his massive new Texas manufacturing plant, the Terafab. Then they just beam the process data back down to us.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting and honestly a little terrifying. Isn't launching 1 million servers into orbit a massive physical hazard? Like, we are talking about the Kessler syndrome here.
Oh, for sure.
A chain reaction of space debris collisions that could literally trap humanity on Earth.
The physical risk of a runaway collision is incredibly real. It could wipe out global communications. But the financial risk of building this massive network is actually heavily cushioned by the US government. His space infrastructure serves as the backbone of the military's Golden Dome missile defense program.
Which brings up an important point from the government filings we reviewed. During his time leading the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, in the Trump administration, Musk cut funding for the oversight body that reviews these exact massive defense programs.
Right, which is why congressional probes are currently looking into this as a conflict of interest.
Exactly, since his own companies directly benefit from those streamlined contracts. And just to be super clear to you listening, we're looking at the raw mechanics of his wealth today, not taking a political stance. But those government ties are a functional pillar of how his valuation is so heavily protected.
Yeah, those federal contracts provide a guaranteed floor for his wealth. But to capture the everyday economy, he needs you and me. That is the final piece, consumer banking.
Right, X money. He is rolling out a banking alternative directly on his social platform, offering a 6% APY to his 600 million users.
The goal is to make it so lucrative that you deposit your paycheck there and never have to leave his app to buy something.
It's all about locking people into the ecosystem.
Totally. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, you start to see the true architecture here. He controls the global internet through Starlink, the future of space-based AI, and now the daily financial transactions of 500 million people. He isn't trying to predict the economy. He's building its inescapable infrastructure.
Which leaves you with a pretty staggering question to mull over. If one individual physically controls global communications, off-planet artificial intelligence, and your daily financial transactions, what happens when that corporate timeline inevitably misaligns with national sovereignty? It makes that $818 million a day look like just the tip of the iceberg.